You know, most people think their bank account is limited by the economy, their boss, or the government. They blame inflation, they blame taxes, they blame the system. But the truth is much more uncomfortable than that. Your bank account is limited by your resentment. I know that sounds crazy. You're probably thinking, wait, what? How does hating billionaires make me poor? But stick with me, because what I'm about to show you is the invisible prison that most people build around themselves without even knowing it. See, hating billionaires isn't just an opinion. It's not just political commentary. It's a poverty trap disguised as moral superiority. And while it feels like you're standing up for what's right, you're actually building a psychological barrier that prevents you from ever entering what I call the ownership layer. Here's the thesis. When you hate successful people, you are subconsciously programming yourself to avoid the very traits and systems that create wealth. If you despise the destination, your brain will never let you finish the journey. Today, we're breaking down the 5 psychological reasons why hating billionaires is the fastest way to stay broke. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to see money in a completely different way. Let's dive in. So let's start with the most common misconception about wealth. Most people see wealth as a fixed pie. If a billionaire has more, that means you have less, right? Wrong. This is what I call the evil versus skill fallacy. It's the belief that billionaires got rich by taking your piece of the pie. That wealth is theft, that every dollar they have is a dollar stolen from you. But here's what they don't teach you in school. Let me give you the bakery analogy. Imagine wealth isn't a fixed pie, it's a bakery. The billionaire didn't break into your house and steal your bread. They built a bakery that makes 10,000 loaves a day. They created something that didn't exist before. Billionaires don't take money. They build compounding engines that provide value to millions of people. Jeff Bezos didn't steal from you. He created a system where you can get almost anything delivered to your door in 24 hours. Elon Musk didn't rob you. He made electric cars desirable and pushed the entire auto industry forward. Now here's where it gets psychological. If you believe that wealth can only be acquired through evil, what do you think your brain does? It stops you from seeking wealth. Because you're a good person. You don't want to be evil. So your brain protects your identity by keeping you away from money. This is the mindset shift you need. Wealth is not a moral judgment. It's a result of ownership and systems. The moment you stop seeing billionaires as evil and start seeing them as builders, you unlock your own ability to build. Because if you believe the only way to get rich is to be a bad person, then your brain will literally sabotage every opportunity to protect who you think you are. So ask yourself, am I avoiding wealth to protect my morality? Or am I just scared to actually try? All right, now let's talk about something even more uncomfortable. The victimhood loop. Hating the rich provides a convenient excuse for personal failure. And I'm not saying the system is perfect. I'm not saying everyone has equal opportunity. But here's what I am saying. When you blame billionaires for your situation, you give away your power. Let me explain this through psychology. There's this concept called locus of control. People with an internal locus believe they control their fate. They take responsibility. They say, I'm at level 1, but I can get to level 5 if I learn and work. People with an external locus believe the billionaires control their fate. They say, the system is rigged. There's no point trying. I'll never win because they won't let me. Here's the deep research point. Studies show that high achievers almost universally have an internal locus of control. They believe they can influence outcomes. Meanwhile, billionaire haters often have an external locus. They've given up before they started because they believe someone else controls the game. But here's the truth about the human nature aspect of wealth. It is easier to blame a rigged system than to admit you're still at level 1 doing the work. Most people never make it past level 1 because they're too busy pointing fingers at level 5. They say, the game is rigged, instead of saying, how do I learn the rules and advance? And look, I get it. It's psychologically easier to blame external forces. It protects your ego. If you fail, it's not your fault, it's their fault. The billionaires, the system, the economy. But every minute you spend in that mindset is a minute you're not spending building your own wealth. So here's the shift. Stop asking, why do they have so much? And start asking, what am I doing to build my financial future? And those are the exact tools you need to build your own wealth. And that's when real growth begins. Now we're getting to the core of the issue. And this is where most people don't want to hear the truth. To get rich, you must eventually transition from labor to ownership. From trading your time for money to building systems that make money while you sleep. But here's the problem. If you hate billionaires, you hate systems. You hate capital, you hate leverage. But guess what? Those are the only ways to scale wealth. Let me give you an analogy. It's like wanting to win a race while hating the car. You'll stay on foot, running as hard as you can, while others zoom past you with engines. Labor is your legs, you can only go so fast. Capital is the engine. It multiplies your effort. Systems are the vehicle. You cannot hustle your way to $1 billion. You cannot grind 24/7 and become a billionaire. There are only 24 hours in a day. At some point, you must build systems. You must own assets. You must leverage capital. But if you've spent years training yourself to hate those concepts because that's what billionaires do, then you've programmed yourself to reject the path to wealth. This is the conflict. You say you want financial freedom, but you hate the mechanisms of financial freedom. You want the destination, but you despise the vehicle. So here's the question. Are you willing to own systems? Are you willing to invest capital? Are you willing to use leverage? Or are you going to keep running on foot while others drive past you, complaining that cars are for the elite? The choice is yours. Now let's get really honest, because this level is about something most people don't want to admit. Hating billionaires is often a projection of your own ego and entitlement. I know that stings, but hear me out. The rich treat money like a machine. It's a tool. They invest it, multiply it, deploy it. The poor treat money like a wallet. It's for spending, for consuming, for immediate gratification. And here's where the ego comes in. When you see a billionaire and you feel anger, ask yourself, is it really about justice? Or is it about the fact that you don't have the wallet you feel entitled to? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people aren't mad that billionaires exist. They're mad that they aren't billionaires. They're mad that they don't have the lifestyle, the freedom, the toys. It's not about fairness. It's about envy. Hating the rich is often a reaction to not having the wallet you feel you deserve. You think, I work hard. I'm a good person. Why don't I have what they have? And instead of saying, what do I need to learn? What do I need to build? You say, they don't deserve it. The system is broken. But that's ego protecting itself from failure. It's easier to believe you were robbed than to believe you haven't built the machine yet. And here's the shift. The rich don't feel entitled to a wallet. They build a machine that creates the wallet. They delay gratification. They invest for decades. They take risks. Meanwhile, the billionaire hater is angry they don't have a full wallet without ever building the machine. So check your ego. Are you mad about injustice? Or are you mad you don't have what you want? Because one leads to action, the other leads to resentment. And resentment never built wealth. All right, final level. And this one's a game changer. Billionaires are market signals. Their wealth shows you where the world is going. Think about it. Elon Musk's wealth exploded when the world realized electric vehicles and space exploration were the future. Jeff Bezos got rich because e-commerce was the future. Mark Zuckerberg because social media was the future. Their billions aren't random. They're signals. They're showing you where value is being created, where opportunity exists. Figure out how to position yourself in that space, instead of asking, how can they have so much? And getting angry, you should be asking, what value are they providing that the world is willing to pay billions for? That question changes everything. Because suddenly you're not a victim, you're a detective. You're looking for patterns. You're finding opportunities. When you see someone make billions in artificial intelligence, don't hate them. Study them. Hating them blinds you to the opportunities they're pointing to. You miss the signal because you're too busy throwing stones. So shift your mindset. Billionaires aren't your enemy. They're your teachers. They're showing you where the world is heading, where value is being created, where you could build something. So let's bring it all together. Wealth is not a moral judgment. It's a result of ownership and systems. You can spend your entire life believing rich people are evil, and your brain will protect you from wealth to keep you good. You can stay in the victimhood loop, blaming external forces, giving away your power, or you can take responsibility and start building. You can despise systems, capital, and leverage, the very tools you need, or you can embrace them and start building your own machine. You can let ego and entitlement keep you resentful, or you can build the machine instead of demanding the wallet. And you can hate billionaires and miss every signal they're giving you about where opportunity exists. Or you can learn from them and position yourself for the future. Here's the call to action, Alexa. You can spend your life throwing stones at the skyscraper, or you can start learning how to lay the first brick of your own. The choice is yours. Which layer are you going to live in? Are you going to stay in labor, Trading time for money, resenting those who figured it out? Or are you going to transition to ownership, build systems, and create your own financial freedom? Because here's the truth. No one's coming to save you. The government isn't going to make you rich. Your boss isn't going to hand you wealth. And hating billionaires definitely won't put money in your account. And remember, we'll see you in the next one. So stop wasting energy on resentment. Start investing energy in education, in building, in ownership. Study how wealth is created. Learn about systems, understand leverage, build your compounding engine. Because the world rewards builders, not haters.